She won't say it. She won't look at you and whisper, "Kiss me." But her body already did. There's a moment, subtle, electric, almost invisible, when tension shifts. The air gets heavier. Her breathing changes. The conversation slows down, not because there's nothing left to say, but because something else wants to happen. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. Welcome back to Female Code Unlocked, where we decode what's felt but never said. If you understand the silent signals, you'll never need permission spoken out loud. Subscribe and step into the psychology most men never see. You've been there before. You're sitting across from her. Maybe it's late. Maybe the room is dim. Maybe the world around you has faded into background noise. And suddenly, she's not just listening to you anymore. She's studying you. That's the first sign. When her eyes stop scanning the room and start tracing your mouth instead. Not aggressively, not obviously, but subtly. She'll look at your eyes, then your lips, then back to your eyes. It's unconscious. It's instinct. It's her mind rehearsing a possibility before her courage catches up. A woman doesn't study your lips unless she's imagining what they'd feel like. And here's the part most men ruin. They get nervous. They fill the silence. They break the tension with a joke. They look away. But tension is not awkward. Tension is invitation. The second sign? Proximity shifts. She closes the gap. Not dramatically, not like a movie scene. It's smaller than that. Her knee brushes yours and doesn't pull away. Her shoulder leans in when she laughs. She adjusts her seat so your thighs are almost touching. People don't move closer to what they don't want. When she invades your space gently, she's testing your reaction. She's asking without words, "Will you meet me here?" And then there's her voice. Listen carefully. When a woman wants to be kissed, her tone changes. It softens. It lowers. It slows down. The energy becomes intimate, like the world narrowed to just the two of you. She might ask something simple. "What are you thinking about?" But it won't feel casual. It'll feel loaded. Like she's not asking about your thoughts. She's asking about your desire. This is where emotional intelligence matters, because she won't cross the line first. Not always. She wants to feel chosen, desired, but not pressured. That's the paradox. And then comes the stillness. This is the sign men misinterpret the most. She stops moving. She holds eye contact half a second longer than normal. Her lips part slightly. Her breathing deepens. The conversation fades and she doesn't rush to restart it. Silence isn't rejection. Silence is space. She's giving you a doorway. You'll feel it in your chest. That pull forward. That instinct to close the distance. Your mind might question it. What if I'm wrong? But your body already knows. Here's something deeper. When she mirrors you, your posture, your head tilt, even your breathing, her nervous system is syncing with yours. That synchronization creates emotional safety. And safety is what allows desire to surface. Kissing isn't about lips. It's about trust, condensed into a single moment. And finally, watch her reaction when you lightly touch her hand. Not grabbing, not claiming, just resting your fingers over hers. If she turns her palm upward, if her fingers curl slightly around yours, if she doesn't pull away, her body has already voted. Women rarely say, "Kiss me," but they create the conditions for it. They slow the world down. They lean in. They look at your mouth. They breathe differently. They hold the silence. The real question isn't whether she wants you to kiss her. It's whether you can read the moment without destroying it. Because confidence isn't forcing a kiss. It's recognizing when the door is already open and stepping through it gently. Now you're starting to see it, but here's what most men still don't understand. Desire doesn't explode, it builds, and if you misread the buildup, you don't just miss the kiss, you break the spell. Welcome back to Female Code Unlocked. If you want to understand the silent language of attraction, the psychology beneath the surface, subscribe now. Because what she doesn't say will always matter more than what she does. Let's go deeper. Sign number 7 isn't about her lips. It's about vulnerability. When she wants you closer, she opens something small but personal. Not a life confession, not trauma dumping, something softer. She might mention how she gets shy sometimes. She might tell you she doesn't usually do this. She might admit she feels comfortable around you. That's not random conversation. That's emotional positioning. A woman doesn't lean into vulnerability unless she feels safe. And when she feels safe, physical closeness becomes natural, not forced. Understand this clearly. Attraction without safety creates hesitation. Attraction with safety creates invitation. And that invitation is subtle. Now watch her breathing. You think I'm exaggerating? Pay attention next time. When tension builds, her breath changes rhythm. It gets slightly deeper, slightly slower. Sometimes it pauses when you look at her too long. The body reacts before the mind gives permission. That pause, that's anticipation. And anticipation is more powerful than action. Here's another moment most men miss. When she touches you first, but disguises it. She fixes something on your shirt. She brushes lint off your shoulder. She playfully pushes you when she laughs. Those aren't accidents. They're safe rehearsals for closeness. She's testing how your skin feels against hers. She's measuring your reaction. She's asking, without words, do you feel this too? And if you stay grounded, calm, unhurried, you create polarity. Desperation kills tension. Stillness amplifies it. Now let's talk about her lips. Not in a crude way, in a psychological way. When a woman wants to be kissed, she becomes hyper-aware of her mouth. She might lick her lips slightly. She might press them together. She might apply lip balm in the middle of conversation. It's not vanity. It's subconscious preparation. Her mind is saying, what would this feel like? But here's the most powerful sign of all. She lingers when she doesn't have to. The night is ending. The conversation has reached a natural pause. There's an obvious opportunity to leave. And she doesn't. She stands there. She looks at you. She says something small like, so. That so isn't confusion. It's a bridge. She's giving you one final opening, not because she can't kiss you herself, but because she wants to feel pursued, not pressured. And this is where emotional intelligence separates men from boys. A boy asks, can I kiss you? Out of fear. A man reads the moment. He leans in slowly. He watches her eyes. If she closes the distance even 1 centimeter, that's consent in motion. And if she turns away? He smiles, because confidence isn't about forcing outcomes. It's about being strong enough to handle them. Here's the truth you won't hear often. Women rarely verbalize desire in direct commands. They orchestrate environments where desire can unfold naturally. They create the tension. They hold the gaze. They soften the tone. They lean in. They linger. And if you're attuned, you'll feel it before it happens. The kiss is never sudden. It's built. Layer by layer, breath by breath, silence by silence. Most men wait for words, but attraction doesn't speak in words. It speaks in proximity, in pauses, in pupils that don't look away. And if you can read that language, you don't need permission spoken out loud. You just need presence. Now, understand something deeper. The kiss isn't the climax. It's the confirmation. By the time your lips are inches away from hers, the decision has already been made. Not verbally, not logically, emotionally. Welcome back to Female Code Unlocked. If you're learning to see what most men are blind to, subscribe now, because mastery in attraction is never loud, it's aware. Let's go further. There's a moment right before a woman wants to be kissed where she becomes unusually quiet. Not distant, not cold, just present. Her eyes soften. Her shoulders relax. The playful energy shifts into something heavier, intimate, almost fragile. That shift is crucial, because when playfulness fades into stillness, desire is no longer a game. It's real. And real desire feels vulnerable. That's why she won't say it. When a woman says, kiss me, she risks rejection. She risks breaking the mystery. she risks losing control of the emotional balance. But when she leans in slightly, when her gaze lingers, when she stops filling the silence, she keeps her dignity intact while giving you the lead. That's polarity. And polarity only exists when one person is grounded enough to step forward. Here's another sign most men completely miss: her body angle. If her torso is pointed directly toward you, even when others are around, that's attention alignment. Humans subconsciously angle their bodies toward what they're emotionally invested in. If her feet are facing you, that's even more honest. The body doesn't lie to protect ego the way words do. Now imagine this scene. You're walking her to her car. The night is cool. The conversation is softer than it was earlier. You both know the evening is ending. She slows her steps. Why? Because she doesn't want the moment to end yet. She adjusts her hair, not perfectly, but subtly. She looks at you and holds it. That eye contact, just long enough for your heartbeat to change. Then she says something small. I had a really nice time. It sounds simple, but underneath it is layered meaning. I feel something. I'm open. Are you going to act on it? And here's where many men sabotage everything. They overthink, they panic, they either rush forward awkwardly or step back completely. But attraction rewards calibration. If you're unsure, don't ask with fear. Ask with confidence in your tone. Come here. Softly, not demanding, not aggressive, just assured. And then you move slowly. If she steps into you, even slightly, the invitation is complete. If she tilts her head up, if her eyes flicker down to your lips one more time, if she exhales as you close the gap, she already said yes. Desire is rarely loud. It's composed of microsignals: a pause, a breath, a lean, a look. Each one alone might mean nothing. Together, they're a green light. But here's the final psychological layer most men never consider. Women don't just want to be kissed. They want to feel chosen in a way that feels intentional, not accidental, not impulsive, not desperate. When you read her signals accurately, you're not just initiating a kiss, you're proving emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is what makes desire sustainable. The kiss becomes symbolic. It says, I see you. Not just your body, your hesitation, your curiosity, your invitation. That's power, not dominance, presence. So the next time she won't say kiss me, don't wait for words. Watch her body. Listen to the silence. Feel the shift. Because by the time the moment arrives, her body already spoke. And here's the truth no one tells you. The kiss is never about the kiss. It's about what happens before it and what happens after. Welcome back to Female Code Unlocked. If you've made it this far, you already understand something most men never will. Attraction is not a move. It's a moment you either recognize or ruin. Let's finish this the right way. When her body has spoken, when the proximity, the silence, the softened voice, the lingering goodbye all align, your role isn't to conquer, it's to confirm. You don't lunge, you don't hesitate, you slow the world down even more. You look at her the way a man looks at something he values, not something he's trying to take. And here's the psychological shift that changes everything. When you move with calm certainty, you remove pressure from her nervous system. Pressure creates resistance. Certainty creates surrender. That's why rushed kisses feel awkward, but slow ones feel magnetic. You close the space gradually. You let the tension breathe. You give her time to lean in that final inch. Because that inch? That's the difference between being wanted and being tolerated. And when it finally happens, when her lips meet yours, you don't overpower the moment. You match her rhythm. You let her respond. You stay present. Because a woman decides in the first few seconds whether that kiss feels safe or wrong. This is where emotional intelligence separates you from every other man she's met. Most men chase the kiss. Very few understand that the kiss is a mirror. If she melts into it, she was already there emotionally. If she pulls back gently, she wasn't fully ready. And here's the mature truth. Both outcomes are information. Confidence isn't getting every kiss. Confidence is reading the energy accurately and handling the outcome without losing composure. Because the real power, it's not in your lips, it's in your restraint. Women feel safest and most attracted to a man who can control himself, who doesn't rush, who doesn't grab, who doesn't force, who knows he can walk away with the same calm presence he walked in with. That's dark psychology most men ignore. Desire intensifies when she feels free. Free to lean in, free to pause, free to pull back without fear. The paradox is this: when she feels no pressure, she moves closer on her own. So the next time she won't say, "Kiss me," don't search for permission in her words. Look for it in her stillness, in the way she lingers, in the way her body angles toward you, in the way her breathing changes when you step closer, in the way she doesn't step back. And remember this: attraction isn't about decoding women. It's about becoming perceptive enough to notice what's already happening. When you master that, you don't chase moments. You create them. And she won't have to say, "Kiss me," because you'll already know.